Now, I don't know if you've seen this, but the UN is big mad about climate change. And they are extra unhappy, I think, that countries like the US are saying, go yourself, and are choosing to move away from the climate agenda. So, the United Nations top court is ruling that countries harmed by the effects of climate change could be entitled to reparations from countries that fail to take appropriate action to protect the climate system. Now, where would they get reparations from, my friends? Why, I think it would always be from one country that has the money, the United States. The problem, of course, is the UN has no real power. They are a feckless institution that only exist as a mirage as long as the countries that they represent are willing to enforce it. But the United States is really the person that makes the UN work. Without the US, the UN is essentially useless. And so whatever they want to do could only work if countries like the United States agree to let them punish them, which right now we have an administration, the Trump administration, that would basically tell them to go pound sand. So the International Court of Justice, which is ironic because the ICJ is anything but, in my opinion, in The Hague, also called a failure to take measures to protect the Earth. Whatever the hell they mean by that, a potential violation of international law, according to the reporting of the opinion by a variety of news outlets. The legal consequences resulting from the commission of an internationally wrongful act may include full reparations to injured states in the form of restitution, compensation, and satisfaction. There's no way to know what anything would affect anywhere. The concept is so stupid. How would you prove that a weather event was related to, I don't know, a cow fart or a cow belch, since they can't actually fart? How would you prove that? If a butterfly flaps its wings too hard and creates a CO2 nightmare, would, say, Africa be able to sue the butterfly or the country where the butterfly lives in for reparations? I don't know. I'm having a hard time taking this court seriously. Anyway, the retarded ICJ court says that a sufficient direct and certain causal nexus had to be shown between the wrongful act and the inquiry. Failure of a state to take appropriate action to protect the climate system may constitute an internationally wrongful act. The news outlet added that the opinion, which runs over 500 pages, is seen as a potential turning point in international climate law. Actually, I agree, because I think it's the turning point in people no longer taking them seriously. Because again, they have no real power. So it was a case brought by the Pacific island nation of Vanuatu, or Vanuatu, or whatever, reportedly backed by more than 130 countries due to concerns it could be destroyed by rising sea levels, the thing that never seems to happen, but they always worry about. And of course, my friends, drumroll please, the ruling is not legally binding, meaning it is useless. Wow, we get all the way to the end of the article to find out that this didn't actually matter whatsoever. Thank you, writer of this story. So according to a report, though, by CNN, the status of the court gives it a significant weight. Experts say it would bolster climate negotiations and provide a huge boost to climate lawsuits around the world. That is, if anyone were to take this stupid court seriously. Which, let's be honest, there are some corrupt countries and governments that might, if they see an opportunity to get some money from countries like the US. But of course, the major pollutants like China and India would just say, go f*** yourself. So, nothing to see here. And I see at the very end that the US did withdraw from compulsory ISJ jurisdiction all the way back in the 1980s. So yeah, no value in this whatsoever. So good times.